Right, good evening, guys. Couple of things. I'm just going to walk around the gym and just let everyone know what our Christmas decorations look like, 'cause I'm really quite proud of them. And then what we're going to do for the video this week is I'm going to talk to you about different types, different body types. So we've got an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and an endomorph, and I'm going to talk about different nutritional and exercise strategies for each different type of body type. So, yeah, just to walk through the gym, like I'm turnstiling. Kind of went a bit OTT with the tinsel, but all the members seem to love it. So we've got a green and red theme going on. There we go. No mistletoe this year, unfortunately. Right, okay, so that's a reception. Oh, I'll show you the tree as well. Look at that. Look at that. That is something else. Right, down to business. I'll lock the door. Right, so there's different types of body types, and I'm gonna try and give a few examples, so hopefully you can relate to a few different people. So we've got an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and we've also got an endomorph as well. So an ectomorph is a type of person that's kind of got a lanky, wiry frame, not much muscle mass, a little bit of body fat, possibly. In previous videos that I've done, I've talked about the skinny fat kind of look, where they've upped the cardio, they've upped their energy expenditure, they've decreased the carbs, they've decreased the calories, and they're kind of left with a stick frame, but still a little bit of body fat. So that's kind of like an ectomorph. To give you someone to refer to, someone possibly like Peter Crouch, the footballer, very tall, very little muscle mass. Now, nutritional wise, it's quite interesting with ectomorphs because they're in a sense, even though they've not got much muscle mass, they're incredibly lucky when it comes to the nutrition. So most ectomorphs will want to put weight on and put size on and put muscle on. So because they're an ectomorph and their body type suits them, in terms of nutrition, you can pretty much feed them with whatever you want. So, in most cases when they're trying to put weight on, you're going to increase the carbohydrate intake as well as the protein and the fats. But what you do is you weigh yourself every week. You'd maybe start depending on your body shape, size, age, weight and height. You could say, for example, you could start your carbohydrates on 250 grams, 200 grams of protein, 60 grams of fat, and just watch what happens to your body weight. Now, if you do that for an ectomorph and your body weight is still dropping every week, then you know that you're in a calorie deficit. So you need to up the calorie intake via fats or carbs, maybe not too much on the protein because you're wanting to build muscle. So for the nutritional strategy with an ectomorph, you can pretty much feed them with whatever you want. When it comes to training, you can get results relatively quickly with ectomorphs because they're new to training. The body responds well to muscle stimulation, muscle growth. So when you're feeding them with calories and they're brand new to training, they'll notice a difference relatively quickly. So that's an ectomorph. We've then got a mesomorph. So a mesomorph is kind of like a normal athletic build, and it's a difficult one with mesomorphs, how they respond to the nutrition. With a mesomorph, what I'd do is I'd weigh themselves every week, set out a nutritional plan, and just see how the body weight changes to it. Now, a mesomorph typically is used to training, so you have to bring in more advanced training methods, maybe things like drop sets, added volume, different things that are going to stimulate muscle growth if that's what they're wanting. So a lot of it with the nutrition is down to the lifestyle and how much food they consume within the week. So if they're quite used to going out and they're putting body fat on, then what they need to do is they need to drop their calories and the carb intake. again, they respond very, very differently to weight training. So with the mesomorph, if they're going to the gym 4 times a week and they're not really seeing any changes, then what you can do is you can increase the training volume to 5 times a week, and again, just see if they train. Someone who's a typical mesomorph would be someone like David Beckham. So it can go either way. They can have a very, very fast metabolism, or it can just be a normal metabolism, which you've just got to play around with the nutrition. You can either, if they're wanting to put weight on, you increase the carbs very slowly. If they're wanting to lose weight, then you've got to cut the calories, increase the energy expenditure, just like you would do with a normal person. But compared to an ectomorph, the nutrition's very, very different. You can't just feed a mesomorph with tons and tons of carbs and calories, because they more likely put weight on in areas a lot easier. And then you've got the opposite end of the spectrum. You've got an endomorph. So endomorph is usually someone who's overweight, kind of like a pear shape, if you will. Very, very used to being in a calorie surplus. So obviously someone that's in a massive calorie surplus and is overweight with a pear-shaped figure, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be wanting to slim down, unless they're doing weightlifting or something. But the nutritional strategy for an endomorph is you've got to look at getting the energy expenditure up and knocking the calories down, but doing it in a way that, again, is staged. So you're not going from them eating 3,500 calories to eating 2,000, because they won't cope with it. They're not going to stick to it. It's not realistic, and they'll collapse and they'll just hit a complete rebound. Again, in terms of training, you've got to look at with an endomorph, you've got to look at increasing the muscle mass. Obviously, the more muscle mass that someone has, the faster they burn through the fat, the faster they burn through the calories. So they usually respond quite well to training. So I get them in the gym 3 times a week is more than enough to get a result with someone that is an endomorph, because it's not what they're used to already. And again, I'd weigh them for a week, get them tracking the food, see what food intake they're having. At the end of the day, if they're having, said this before, if they're having 5 takeaways a week, you get them eating 3 takeaways a week and they'll still lose weight. The whole point is that within that week they are in a calorie deficit. So if their intake is 50,000 calories over the week, knock that down to 40,000, and then just keep tracking, make it adherable, keep it sensible, and yeah, just keep them in the gym. So I hope it's short and sweet this week, but I hope you enjoyed the tour of the gym in the Christmas theme. But just to recap, ectomorph, pretty much feed them with whatever. Get them in the gym, they'll respond quite well to muscle growth and muscle stimulation. A mesomorph, play around with it, see how the body's responding to the nutrition. If you set them macronutrient targets, stick to them for 2 weeks, see how the body's responding, and play it off from that. Again, in terms of the exercise, if they've plateaued for a while and they're bored of the training, look at different training strategies. Look at drop sets, look at trisets, supersets, things like that, that are going to get a lot more muscle stimulation. And then an endomorph is more just a case of getting them in the gym, getting them moving 2-3 times a week, something that they're not used to, and putting them into a calorie surplus. But by doing that, you've got to get them moving more. So getting them walking, fantastic way of increasing energy expenditure. Just to give you an idea, someone who would be an endomorph would be someone, say, Santa Claus, because he's a bigger figure, pear-shaped figure, so he'd have to move a lot more, he'd have to get in the gym, drop his calories down. So yeah, I hope that helps. And next week he's probably going to be back more on exercise execution videos. So any ideas for videos, what anyone would want, just let me know. But cheers, thank you.